And it's still Midday Live. Good afternoon to you. Thanks for staying with us. It's time for us to do business. Quite shortly, we would be hearing also as a follow-up of what the OMC is talking about, the oil marketing companies, what they are really saying when it comes to that story that Ken has been following with regards to the diesel shortage. But let's do some more business this afternoon. My name is Nana Ikuasari. Local industries are yet to fully benefit from the African Growth Opportunity Act, AGWA, but government says it is making efforts to revamp the project by collaborating with the private sector. The government of Ghana in 2000 signed the African Growth Opportunity Act to offer Ghanaian industries access to the American market. Over the years, proceeds from exports under AGWA have fallen from $2 million to $580,000 last year. While government admits that numerous challenges have prevented local industries from benefiting from the opportunity, Acting Director of Communications and Public Affairs for the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Nana Kwesi Sapon, says there are efforts to renew AGWA.
We have provided them with this building, and we are adding another one. We recently signed the contract, and subject to the availability of their own equipment, maybe they will employ more hands and move them there.
The ministry is supporting Dignity DTRT Limited with 241 sewing machines to enable the company meet demand. The government-making company, with support from the Ministry of Trade and Industry, recently shipped 29,000 pieces of polo shirts onto the American market. But Managing Director of Dignity DTRT Limited, Salma Salifo, says despite support from government, its biggest challenge is funding to expand and develop human resource.
Grants for training, it's difficult for you to access. Loans we are not getting from the banks because the kind of collateral and other things that they ask you are so much, and we don't have that.
The company recently recruited and trained 400 young people and intends to increase its workforce to 1 million by 2015 to boost production. And still following situational reports regarding the shortage of diesel at some filling stations, as Ken carried on from the Ashanti region as well as some parts of the Greater Accra region, Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Oil Marketing Companies, Kweku Ajimendua, says if government fails to intervene immediately in the impending diesel shortage, the country will zoom into crisis. Well, in an interview, the CEO explained the situation is negatively affecting businesses of oil marketing companies, and he was speaking with Sandra Amakwe.
Basically, the product is not available in large quantities. The secretary said that even when we have cash to pay, we don't even get the product. The main reason had been the perennial problem of the issue between the BDCs and the government in terms of the exchange rate losses, which had to be paid, and also getting credit lines for them to be able to open the LC. It's bad, honestly. I mean, if you look at the stations that we have in the country, the way we are, we have invested so much money to these stations, and now they are lying idle. And meanwhile, a lot of them, we borrow from the bank, normally to fill up our capital and to do some investment. Now we have to pay back. Where are we going to get the money to pay? Because we are not having the product. If we don't get to crunch to get the foreign exchange or open the lines for the BDCs, we're going to end up in crisis.
Well, so the cycle of shortage of petroleum products is likely to also include premix fuel, as the remaining stock of premix fuel, which powers outboard motors used by canoe fishermen, is expected to run out by this weekend. So that is the situational report also on premix fuel used by the canoe fishermen, and this follows liquidity challenges facing the company that supplies the product. We will be giving you more detail on that, but let's move away from issues of energy and fuel and focus on investments. And investment bankers have blamed the Bank of Ghana for low investments in long-dated instruments after it implemented the no foreign exchange directives. Now, they indicate since its withdrawal, the city is performing better.
The city has performed poorly close to 8 months, and analysts say fixed income securities are the way to go. This has been blamed on investor perception in long-dated instruments like shares. Treasury bills, which currently stand at 25% between 90 to 180 days, may be the way local investors will go.
The current trend is actually with the fixed income securities like bonds, like government bonds and other corporate bonds.
But CEO of Man Capital, Alan Asari, says for high-risk investors, this is the best time. But unfortunately, many local investors do not take advantage.
The hardcore investors would prefer to do their investment. That is those who invest in huge portfolio with a lot of risk. But the normal layman want to engage in a simple investment portfolio may not have the opportunity to engage in the business transactions that will uphold the value of the money if the currency value is falling.
Augustine Adu, an investment analyst, adds fixed income securities may dominate the market for some time.
For like a year or two before the stock market
may not have the opportunity to engage in the business transactions that will uphold the value of the money if the currency value is falling.
Augustine Adu, an investment analyst, adds fixed income securities may dominate the market for some time.
For like a year or two before the stock market can actually see or bear fruit, because currently people don't want to put down their funds or investments for a long term. They would want to do a lot of short-term investments.
Alan Asari blames the Bank of Ghana for the current poor performance of the city.
When those policies were being speculated or came into force, you realize that there was a huge withdrawal in our banking sector, and again there was also people were not willing to do businesses with the financial institutions, except those who needed funds rather from the financial institution. Deposit actually went down.
Alright, so remember, we will be following the developing stories and giving you more updates later on business at 4:30 this brief. I'm Nanika Asari. The bulletin continues. Have a good afternoon.